undergraduate student from Social Welfare Department too, and then student of Magister on Public Policy. The topic of our discussion and your presentation is about the challenges on community intervention in 21st century. The community development and the global change have faced a very varying situation, from poverty alleviation, climate change, and also technological development. On this meeting, we need updates on the latest issue about how to do intervention to the society or the community in the 21st century era. So Yi, you have an hour and 30 minutes for a presentation and also discussion. Time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Risna. Thank you for Rudy and Risna and all the friends in University Pajajaran help with the talk, so that I'm honored to be here to share some of my knowing and also some of my observation related to community practice. I'm very happy that you are from not just social work, but also public administration and policy majors are involved in this talk. I think we are the only chance for us to move forward is to collaborate together. It's not just about helping individuals, but also try to intervene at all levels of a society, so that a community and many of the people can participate in the development of the whole society. So today, because it's the first time I meet you, but not the first time I know University Pajajaran. In 2019, I visited your campus and gave a talk about social work education. At the time, I was very impressed how the students and faculty members are motivated to know more and try to improve the profession of social work. Of course, behind the passion is the concern, and a genuine concern about how would we make Indonesia a better place to be. So I think that was my impression of you. And hopefully today I'll know more about your work and also your interest in the community practice. As you may see in the slides, I obtained my doctoral degree from the United States. So that today many of my references are from the United States. However, I try to draw more international organization references so that maybe you will feel more relevant. And I've been in the field of community for over a decade. However, I am also involved in with many nonprofit organizations to improve the workforce retention, try to promote the well-being of the workers in nonprofit organizations, and also how to improve the service programs for that to meet the needs of the people, and also try to include more community resources and assets into the service program. so that it's not just about being professional, but also being more culturally relevant and like locally grounded. I believe it's the right way to go. I'll tell more about these ideas within the series of talk. So today, I'll briefly define the concept or the term of community development. There are many alternatives around the world to call what is community development or what's the community practice mean. So that I hope this way can put into the context. And maybe you can introduce the way in Indonesia to me a little bit more. And second point to talk is about the global changes and how the community field respond to those challenges. Of course, we have some practice models, but it never keeps the same over the century. So there are some new ideas talking about what's the practice should be and can be. I will focus on community participation more and talk about the strategies and methods in place, especially from my observation in Taiwan. Here are the references I applied in this talk. Please feel free to read the original articles and like booklets. I think it's a very it's a relatively straightforward and also overview of this topic. So first, let's define what community development is. As you can read in the references, there are many terms when we refer to community practice. Would this feel familiar to you? Do you feel familiar with the term like community organization, community development, community work, community care, community services? Which one do you use a lot in your experience?
Community development, I think. In Indonesia, is most popular.
Community development and what? Care?
Community development on poverty alleviation, maybe. Because in Indonesia has so many people with poor condition.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the term of community development was kind of started by the international organizations such as United Nations after the World War II. Many rich countries or more developed countries, they try to help or support with other areas for the development in terms of like social, economic, and also political basic infrastructures. So things like education or medical care, public health, and like basic physical constructions. Things like that are very common in community development field. However, in other areas of the world, there are other focuses because of the need in that society is not just about poverty itself. It's also about some other complex that we will talk a little bit more. So that I try to link with the term, with the region that may originated this idea of community practice. In North America, like United States and Canada, This area, people would be familiar with the term community organization. So the point is to organize people together, try to emerge and link individuals together and make collective action so that they can improve their own life and well-being. Under that kind of democracy tradition, community practice is really about participation. And the workers and professionals try many ideas and methods to engage people so that they feel, okay, it's my need. I can do something for myself. And also in the Western world, if you look at the British literature or the UK system kind of colony areas, they talk more about community work because within that kind of government system, they perceive community practice is something the government should fund and also hire social workers or community workers to do some of the public affairs at the neighborhood level. So that community work is more like something attached to government, their governance at the neighborhood or local level. And so that the EU, they also try to include some of the ideas into their policy making. Each area or some regions can make their own budget planning based on the local people's will and needs. And recently, they developed the idea of community care. I think it's more about the people with illness and mental disability or some other needs that requires a care system to involve, can be social or medical care system. So that the community care would be the term, talking more about how such kind of care system divide into the community level instead of a huge hospital or a very big bureaucracy take care of people or take people in. They prefer the services can be available at the neighborhood level. And also in other areas, I just talked about the British tradition. So such as in their colony, old-time colony areas like Australia, I found the term like community services is commonly used in Australia. People there, they adopt the idea of British tradition, and also they adopt the idea of charity organizations, such as settlement houses or neighborhood centers. That was historically common in the Western world. The local churches or rich people, they will donate the place and the money to help the local poor people or some migrants like newly moved to that area. And such kind of community services, they combine resources from the government and also resources from the people from the community and provide services to people in need locally. So there are many varieties around the community practice. So today I'll use the broadly defined term community practice to refer to, I think maybe refer to the community development field that you are relatively familiar. But if there's any differences critically I need to know, please let me know. Do you hear the bell?
Yeah. What kind of bell?
It's for the classes.
Oh, okay.
On the campus, we still have the bell to remind students, come to the classroom.
Thank you.
Okay. And because the varieties in the field, in the practice, the International Association of Community Development, they took 9 years, almost a decade, to decide the definition of community development. And it's very humbly claimed it's just a shared standard, not a definitely definition of community practice. So that you can see within the quote, the definition of community development, or we say CD, first, it says that community development is a practice-based profession and an academia discipline. So it's a profession, a group of people are trying to do CD and work very hard. They can be in the practice as a job or in academia as their discipline. And second, it says that CD promotes participative democracy, sustainable development, rights, economic opportunity, equality, and social justice. So it is, these are the underpinning values of CD. We care a lot about human rights. And we hope people can come together and work for themselves. So it's about solidarity or cohesion. And also we care a lot about participation of the people who are affected by the problem or who have who share the same concern for their group. So it's about democracy. We hope the participation can be involved in every stage of community intervention. And also the purpose should be equality, social justice, and environmental justice. It's not just about the people, but for the global common good, it should be a balance between the environment and the individuals. And also within the definition of IACD, we see that in the end of the definition, it refers to the methods that commonly adopted. We do this job through the organizing people or organizing organizations together as an alliance or network. And second, we do it by education. And we also do it through the empowerment of people, includes skills like education or some other ways to encourage people feel they have the capacity and prepared. Lastly, we'll talk more about the challenges of the community practice, because nowadays the communities is not just about the neighborhood, because people move and people do a lot of migration and a lot of commuting. So you don't necessarily attach to a neighborhood. Therefore, the community can be a group of people come together because of their same locality, like neighborhood, or based on identity. For example, you care a lot about climate change, or you care a lot about homeless people. This can be your identity, or some about sexual orientation, LGBTQ population. So, and also the community can be a group of people who share the same interest, so that we can see a lot of advocacy emerges, because people have the same interest for some, for example, industry development or locality development. They come together. It's not just about the rural area. Urban area has the need for community development too. So that within the global definition, we see that CD, community development, and community practice are something valuable and shared in many fields. So that the activities we do within the CD and there are 8 things. You can see that the values underpinning the profession, and also activities such as empowerment and participation. How we do that? We do that through engaging with communities, ensuring participatory planning, and we organizing groups and individuals for change. Do a lot of learning activities, building leadership, things like this. Through the QR code, you can access the full, the full manual of this ICD definition. So, do you think, based on the definition, we share the same idea about CD? Quite similar.
Yeah, quite similar.
Quite similar. Okay, so let's see if these global challenges happens in Indonesia or in your community too. According to the references of Well, it's a textbook commonly widely adopted in the social work programs in United States about community practice. There are a lot of trends, or we say big changes around the world, which are influential to the communities and also to the community practice. So on the left-hand side, you see a scholar notified a few 25 years ago. And Well, when they published the textbook 10 years ago, they notified there are a few new changes that noticeable. First is the evolving nature of labor. So in many societies, the employment changes over time. Back in the 90s, 19th century, 19th and 20th centuries, people would adore, or people would hope they get a job for a lifelong, and includes many benefits, good insurance, good pension, things like that. However, recent years, we noticed that many young people and many rich guys, they don't they are not hired by a single government. They try to take multiple jobs as part-time, and also they started their own innovative kind of business. So in Taiwan, I also observe many young people, they don't just graduate from good university and get into big companies. They hope they can own their own business, their own company, or start a new nonprofit organizations. So the nature of labor market kind of changed. And for people with good resources and good capacity, they are able to manage a good life, good income. However, many people who don't have the good education and capacity and resources for the job market, they will become working poor. So they take multiple jobs, but overall, the benefit, the income is not good enough to sustain a family, especially when they get ill or when they get old. in such cases, you can see that the community practice, would that possible community practice support some of the people who are working hard but stay poor? And also maybe the community can start their own business or social enterprise to support the well-being of individuals. And the second change is the differentiation of interests and association. So many societies are very democratic already. So people are aware of their own rights and interests, so that they don't necessarily follow the policy at all levels, including at the neighborhood level, even within a family. So that with their own ideas of how life should be, how the community should be, there are more and more varieties of organizations at all levels. It's very tricky to unite many groups together to do a successful advocacy or a big campaign. And at the government perspective, we can see that neoliberalism is a fashion. So the government kind of withdraw their roles in funding and like a regulation of social services. They are more like managers and contract out a lot of projects to the nonprofits and to the neighborhood groups for them to do the services, to provide the services. And the government becomes the monetary machine, requires a lot of quantified numbers of performance, so that the collaboration between the government and the civil society kind of changed from collaboration into like contract provider and contract carrier. In this neoliberalism approach, many community practice workers, they feel they become very cheap labor of the government and not appreciated a lot. And there are other noticeable changes. Like I think I would talk a little bit about the values changing, because the individualization kind of spread through the public media, mass media, and popular fashion. It's like people now they share very little values together. And like in the classroom, I found 10 years ago, I started my teaching in the university. Students may come together and raise their concern, doing some proposals to make social changes. But nowadays, it's like everyone are busy with their own business. And when I ask a question, nobody would answer me, or nobody would ask question to me, because they kind of afraid such kind of tension between individuals. So I feel nowadays the culture is more like everyone has their own value system, and but we hardly communicate or work together intimately. So I think it's also about cyber communication. That people, the young generation are used to the conversation or the images on like Instagram, Facebook, instead of they talk or gather to do sports or watch movies, such kind of activities. So that the value system doesn't really support the ideas of community practice. So as you can see, the authors of the textbook, they also kind of identified, maybe nowadays they already kind of predict that our time would encounter a worse situation of natural disasters and environmental problems. I think the climate change is something we all experience. Yeah, in Taiwan, we have earthquake and typhoon regularly. And I noticed that in Indonesia, there's a flood and hurricanes happens a lot, and also earthquake. So such kind of big disasters would crush many communities. And how to do the recovery and rebuilding together is a question that we keep in mind. So the authors, they kind of saying the focus of the community practice, there will be some new trends. For example, community is not just about people in the same locality, in the same region. It will be more community based on identity or shared interests. So in Taiwan, we can see that people come together to do something based on their interests. Like they love doing handcrafting, and a lot of groups will form on the internet, like Facebook, such kind of platform. And people come together physically together to do some activity together. And also based on identity, like people share the same ethnical identity, such as a group of Aboriginal nation. They will come together across Taiwan regions. It's not just at the neighborhood level, but it's easier for people to come together at a bigger range, and then based on the identity, instead of doing something locally. And second, I think it's important to notice that community practice is not just about helping people or solving problems. It should be more about capacity building, or build the social capitals, the networking among individuals. So it will not be just about economic. Before that, you really have to empower the individuals. And the third is about rights-based practice. Again, it's not about fixing the problem of some people. It's about change the environment and change the society for the rights to be supported. For example, people with illness or disabilities, the old idea of community practice will be people come together, donate money and food, and we deliver that to the people with disabilities and illness, try to provide the care and the resources. However, nowadays, if you look at the rights, human rights, who should be changed? It should be the environment, the people, not just the problematic individuals. So that the focus would turn into how to do the inclusion, how we open up or try to rebuild, redesign the parks, the schools, the community centers for people with special needs still feel welcome to come in and feel free to walk in. That would be the new focus. And the fourth is about participation. We'll talk more about this. And the last point is the sustainable development. So in old days, we used to cut off the forests burn the plains and kill animals just for the community economy development. But nowadays, we think the way to make profits is not just the only way. It's not the only way to make profits through kind of damaging the environment. But maybe there's a way to keep the balance. A lot of focus try to put in the community practice to do the sustainable development. So how to make industry and sightseeing attractive without putting just money and built environment can be the new focus. So if you want to do any of that, you find that the community practice workers in the field have to pay attention not just to the people, the field, the civil society. You really have to work with the state, the government, and also the corporate economy, the companies, the business area. That's why some people would say community practice is the fourth sector of society. In addition to state, the first sector, the corporate company, the second sector, the civil society, the third sector. Community practice will be something in between and link everything to every sectors together. And if you really want to change the policy, it's also very important to invite the political parties and elected officials to be involved in the community practice so that the big change can be made possible to the people in the community. So that I would like to ask you if you feel any of the trends and themes observed from the American authors is also relevant or happening in your experience and in your society, and why you think that's something happening around you, and is that becomes a challenge to your job or to your learning to know about community practice. Anyone have something to say? Questions or comments, feedbacks?
Okay, adakah yang akan ditanyakan? Any question for Yi? Yi, we have 108 participants on the meeting rooms. Quite a big class, I think.
Yeah, it's a big class.
Yeah, and I interest about the terminology of community practice. In the first, I learned about community development. I have read about community intervention. Is it similar, or why you don't mention about community intervention?
Okay, when we define the community practice, there are many approaches. On the map, you can see the context, the traditions of community practice. When you say community intervention, I think it's a relatively neutral way to say it, because when we say intervention, that means we are doing something to solve a social problem, a problem that is commonly happened to our community. When we say community intervention, usually we talk about the target that we work with or we work for. we work for the community, then we say community intervention. However, I think the community in the intervention can be for the individuals or for the societies. Like the social workers, we talk a lot about micro practice. Then we talk about the individual, the casework, individual intervention. And in the public administration, we talk a lot about social policy. So, for example, you talk about poverty. Poverty is something every society think it's something we need to solve. And how to solve the problem of poverty at the individual level, the casework. We can help with the individual to get skills for good job, or we kind of help her with him or her with her care roles, take care of their children or older adults, so they are able to go out and find a good job. Things like that will be individual level. But at the community level, what can we do? Community intervention toward or against poverty can be something we change the community or invest the community, like the training programs for the community residents together. Usually, it will be based on the employment opportunities at the local level, so that if this is a place for service industry, a lot of small stores or like a merchandise chain stores, things like that, then our training for the job preparation will be for such kind of business or job opportunities. You will not train the people to do some agriculture knowledge or some industrial skills. You based on the local resources or job markets to define your to target, to focus on what to train. And also the other way will be, okay, there's no job market, no, very limited provision of the job opportunity. So maybe the community can come together and create our own business or industry. Or in Taiwan, we see a lot of rural areas. The farmers comes together and try to start a cooperative company, so that they become the owner of the company and try to balance the cost and benefit at their own capacity. It's impossible for an individual to decrease a lot of cost, or for an individual farmer to do a lot of marketing and make their own produce their own products pricier. It's quite impossible. But if they come together, they can hire somebody and share the cost, and also try to boost the profit together. And that's the community intervention. So I think you already think of how to do the policy intervention. Yeah, we need to, in the case of agricultural area and farmers, there should be some regulation or some stipends for them to make a better life. So I think community intervention for me is quite a neutral term. It's just any intervention at the community level. It doesn't really have to be apply a lot of community practice or community development ideas, such as we see in the definition of the IACD.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. Any other question from the participant on this room?
Excuse me, Bu Risna.
Ya, silakan.
Ya, thank you, Bu Risna. Good morning, Indonesian time. Bu Yiyi, Prof. Yiyi. Please let me introduce myself. My name is Hasbudin Hekmatiar. I'm from Magister or Graduate School of Social Welfare from Unpad. My question is, before I want to introduce myself again, maybe I'm social worker. I'm licensed social worker who assigned at rural area in West Java in Indonesia. Commonly in Indonesia, I don't know how about in Taiwan. Commonly every people move or come to public consultation meeting or community meeting based on their own interest. So my question is how to increase the participation level, the community participation level, if the community haven't yet filled the social assistance program.
What kind of social assistance you mean?
Yeah, if we bring some social assistance program, maybe so economic development program, I think the community as beneficiaries haven't yet feel apa ya, jadi tidak merasa membutuhkan, haven't.
Oh, they're not aware that there issues about to get a better quality of life, so they not interested to present to the meeting. How to increase the
participation?
The participation level. Maybe in this is the case in Indonesia.
Yeah. So that's you think the reason is that they are busy with making their own life, right? Like solving their own question, and they are not aware we can come together and try to do something. So it's they feel it's none of my business, and didn't go to the meetings or the such kind of occasion to express their idea. Correct?
Okay, noted. Okay, noted.
Okay, and I think that's something quite relevant to my following talk. I would like to talk more about the participation, because the models, or we say how we do community practice, there are some models we shared in the literature, and the models are now changing too, because due to some of the forces or the challenges I just mentioned, such as neoliberalism, the relationship between the government and the civil society has changed. And the postmodern culture, such as cyber communication, changed the way people communicate to each other. And fewer and fewer people feel they are obliged, or they are interested in going to any public kind of occasion. I think although the social work student who raised the question has the different mentioned a different background, it's not just because of the internet. People can be very poor and busy and don't have the time to go to the community activities. So what can we do? the community practice are trying to make new ways for people to be engaged. As you can see here, in the old days, in the 1970s, Jack Rothman and many scholars, they tried to kind of collect the experience in the field to see what's happening in the community practice. And they kind of categorize into three ideal types, three basic models of community practice. First is the social planning, the expertise or the governments. They would do most of the evaluation and planning, try to solve the problem of the community. And in the model of community organizing, or we say social action models, the communities, they are their own decision makers. They are political actors. They may go on the street for protests or try to attend such kind of meetings to express their ideas, interest strongly with confronting and political skills. And the third model will be community development, or we say locality development approach. Try to empower the residents, the community members, to build business or to kind of increase the profits of their own assets and real estates, things like that. Due to the challenges, the sites and the scholars, they are from University of Chicago. They found that the neoliberalism and postmodern culture, that people are not used to coming together or are not happy with expressed in the public arena. So that the three models kind of flipped into other version. The social planning approach nowadays, the dominant actors are not neighborhood organizations. The nonprofits and private funders now are growing more and more influential, and so that they become the service provider or contract carrier of the government funding. And the second approach of social action is now turning into a more technology and skill required kind of area. That interest group forms, or some social movement organizations, they come together and take a lot of strategies using internet, mass media, and political skills, try to influence the policy. And in the third model, the locality development turns more like a non-for-profit kind of business companies, development cooperations. So that some poor companies, they rely on such kind of organization to rebuild their market or their houses and try to make profit from their own assets. So these are happening in the Western world and in the States. And I think it's also some of these new models are visible in Taiwan too. But I don't know if you already found that. I think the student was asking something more like a traditional or typical. In that kind of case, the community participation strategies also involved, kind of changed. The idea, the typical idea is we invite the residents or the community members come together physically, right? sit in the community center or meeting room and talk about our own ideas. And the leaders or the host person may try to facilitate some of the proposals together for the government or for the funder, or they can collect some of the ideas together and invite the community members to take or to participate, and they can be volunteer or be involved in the process of community development, right? That's the typical idea. But nowadays, it's difficult to invite people coming to the physical meeting. And it's very tricky to invite or encourage people to take on roles or to be the volunteer, to donate some resources or some time. So I think it's quite common. So if we look at the participation, it is the traditional rubrics of community, and also it's a focus of nowadays practitioners to overcome. I have some examples from Taiwan, the photos I took from the field to talk about the strategies to encourage people participate in community activities. The University of Chicago scholars, they mentioned that in terms of the model of social planning and or the flexible services, the communities can be involved in the social service provision as like a provider or volunteer groups that serve the people in the neighborhood. So in Taiwan, the wellness activity for the older adults is something very popular at the neighborhood level. Many community organizations, they kind of go for it using their own money, or they apply for government's long-term care system resources. And in such kind of activities, they try very hard to apply their own, adapt their own culture, local culture into the activities. For example, on the left-hand side, you see it's an Aboriginal tribe. The community organization there, the workers are relatively young, at from their 20s to 40s. So they kind of respect the older adults in the village, in the tribe a lot, as their own grandmother, just like their own grandmother and fathers. So when I see the activities in the neighborhood center, the older adults were sitting and kind of awaiting the youngers come and greet, and kind of they are not really empowered to feel they are healthy or like they are energetic and come together to share their own healthy life together. So that the workers, they try to invite the older adults. Come on, share. Would you sing a song? Now the teacher, I was visiting the tribe. Would you sing a tradition song and teach us to sing the traditional song, so that the teacher will feel welcome. The approach is not like you ask students to sing, but you in contrast, you ask them to teach you. So that in the tribe, in that activities, a few older adults, they started singing and one song after another. I was sitting there, listening to 3 songs, and the microphone was on the older adults' hands, not the young workers. So it's like they feel they are encouraged to pass on their own culture, their own tradition to the young workers. So the young workers, I read their profile. They really tried very hard to encourage the older adults to be the teacher, offer guidance, and pass on the lessons, language, wisdoms to the youngers. So I think it's another way to do the service instead of helping them or serve them. You invite them to be their own. They invite them to be teachers or to be the proactive actors within the community. So they also do gardening and like weaving, traditional kind of weaving and cooking, a lot of cultural activities together. In that case, the older adults will feel they are valuable instead of being helped or like ill. They are still leaders of the tribe. And on the right hand side, you see here, it's a big stage. It actually is a big national campaign in Taiwan. Every year, the government will host the campaign and invite community groups to attend on a voluntary basis. So what's the motivation for the communities to come and for the older adults to attend the communities come to the stage is that it's a national big activity. So the mass media and the camera will be, spotlight will be on them. So many older adults are encouraged to attend the everyday wellness activity because they want to be on the stage and do the performance and be reported on the newspaper and television news. So that the point for the government to do is to provide the stage and provide the spotlight and encourage older adults to do fun activities. And they feel honored by such kind of campaign, showing they are actors, not like service users in the such kind of social planning approach. Still, it's social planning. It's a kind of top-down government funding and like social workers or care workers as the paid workers in this system. But the way to do it is more empowering. You give the service users the voice and the spotlight for them to feel valuable. So there are within the community and like across community, you really have to think how to make it empowering instead of serve their needs or see them as problematic in need. This is one case in social planning. And in the social action model, the typical idea is that when we feel something unjust, then we go on the street or we fight, kind of protest, go against the rich people, the rich company, or the policymakers. So it's quite confronting. In such occasion, it's necessary. At many occasions, it's necessary. However, it's very difficult for many people feel I'm okay to go on the street or go into that kind of conflict. So that nowadays, I find that many community workers, they try to convert the confronting on the street or in front of people, turn that into some other forms. Like here you see arts or parade or some storytelling kind of products, videos, podcasts, and so that people feel more people can be aware of such issue is happening. At the same time, they feel related, but not like challenged or like they feel guilty. So on the left-hand side, you see this is a very recent exhibition in MoMA Taipei, the Modern Arts Museum of Taipei. One community organization, they care a lot about the local development project. Many old houses and historical sites were bought by like a big company. They try to rebuild that area into a sightseeing town. However, that kind of destroyed the local people, and many older adults, old people, they have to move because of the big scale of development. So instead of confronting this group, 5 young people in the group, they collect people's voice and collect the old stuff related to the fishing village and their religion rituals together and make the exhibition in Taipei City. And so that people in the big city, they get kind of aware that, okay, this is happening. And some of the voices are disappearing if we don't do something. And some of the life ways in that village is vanishing if we don't do something. And arts is a way people can have their own sense and sentimental kind of feeling and feel related. So in the photo, you see the young girl here. She is a resident in the fishing village. And she studies and works in Taipei City, the big city, and kind of feel divided from her home country town. Now, the exhibition kind of bring her back to the hometown and bring her back to the families and the memories of the village. I believe she will do something in the following time to support the community, preserve and redevelop the networking in that area so that the culture will keep on. And on the right-hand side, it's the this weekend, the national parade of LGBTQ people will happen in Taipei City. So every year it's like a festival for people around Taiwan. So people will come from many other cities and areas come into the parade to talk about the issues and to celebrate some of the improvements, and also care and support each other on the vendors on the street or when watch the shows on the stage. So it's kind of turn that kind of conflict into, again, a fun and also attractive activities. People feel relaxed to come to join. So that's some skills that I found, strategies I found in the social action models. We still care about the community's well-being, being oppressed or being taken away by people with or some organization with more power and resources. But we express our idea through creation or through fun activities. That's another way. So you don't really have to have a very formal meeting, actually. If you have a vendor or you invite people to cook together and try to insert some of the discussion at the time, then people will maybe feel more friendly to talk more about their own ideas. And also, we find that profit making is something very intriguing. So that in the model of locality development, or you say community building, the typical way was to do the real estate rebuilding or try to do some built environment cleaned and refurnished. But it takes a lot of money and resources, actually, which is very difficult and hardly happen in many communities. Therefore, nowadays, the practice in Taiwan is to adopt some social enterprise approach. For example, on the left-hand side, I visited a small town in southern Taiwan, which is in a rural area. And most residents there are farmers. They grow vegetables, which is not very profitable, especially when the weather is bad or just the weather is too good. Everyone produce a lot of same kind of vegetables. So the community organizations, they figure out a way to do some innovative products. When the price is not that good, they would buy the vegetable from the farmers with reasonable price, and then they dry it and make it into powder. So it's vegetable powder and can be added into a lot of snack. So they one product I tried and feel good is that they use the vegetable powders mixed with the flour, and make bread and make dumpling skin. So that such kind of product can be frozen and mailed and sold to other areas and with better profits. So that's a way they turn their own local produce, local products into more profitable products, and also maintain the profit of the local farmers. So there are many other cases in Taiwan. They are trying to help with their farmer residents this way. And also, one famous case is to sell rice together. If we think of rice, which is the main dish in Taiwan, and the profit is not that good. But the community organization, they claim their rice is environment friendly grown, and also the profit will be used to the wellness activities for the older adults and for the after-school programs for the young children. Then the price becomes good. It's not just rice, it's rice with good heart. Then many people in the city, they would buy it through the mail, and the profits are good enough to support the wellness, the social services of the community. So such cases are quite common in Taiwan. And on the left-hand side, I think also it's you can see it as a community assets approach, ABCD approach. Try to dig out what we have and invite everyone to join the activities. Again, the bell.
That's okay.
That's okay. Okay. So
maybe you can. Do you want to get some drink or something?
I'm okay. It's almost one. Yeah, I have 20 minutes, right?
Okay.
And so on the right hand side, you see here the people are playing violin, big or small, and those are made of local woods, made of themselves. So that's something they found. This village is located in within mountains by a water dam. So most of their industry are not allowed in that area because of the water reservation regulation. Yeah, they have to ensure the water is clean for the people to use in the city area, so that they feel they lost their land or their rights to make a good life. However, like about 10 years ago, the local leader, he kind of started a new mindset. Okay, we cannot make we cannot have industry or big companies here, but what we have is the natural resources. So they invite the teacher to teach them how to use the local woods to make the violin. So I was very surprised. I thought it's something you have to import. You have to spend a lot of money to buy such a musical instrument. But the teacher and the community organization there, they invent the way to make their own violin. So I see when I visited there, I saw an old man proudly show me, see, this is the violin I made with my hands, with the local woods. And he made one for granddaughter, one for grandson, one for son, one for himself. And he didn't know about music, but now he can make the instrument and he learned to play it. So it becomes a great confidence resource for him to show off to a scholar like me or to the visitors to their town. So such handcrafting kind of thing was not profit-making in the beginning, but the confidence of the residents kind of changed the mindset of the whole town. Now the people will come together for making violin or playing music or attend a concert, which appears impossible in such a village. And people like me and many visitors go there and do sightseeing and join their class, making violins or learning music, things like that, and also enjoy the natural environment. So that's the way eventually brought a lot of business to the local people. And the local people feel, okay, I have something to show and I have my ways to be proud. And that mindset changed. So maybe another way to think is that is there something people feel interesting or they feel relevant to their profits or can make their own life new? That's something maybe bring everyone together. Instead of, okay, we have a problem to solve. nowadays, I see a lot of approach is to find something we are proud of. Then that's the starting point. So that I think so maybe for the question, you would think of something after listening to these examples. I think yeah, there can be something that we don't follow the typical way, but we find it relevant to the residents, to the community members. That's the way invite them to come. We cannot, in the democratic society and in the most postmodern kind of culture, we cannot force a person to come to the meeting. But if he feel interested or relevant or fun, then maybe that's the reason for them to come together and get the awareness. Yeah, it will take long for the awareness to grow. So in the last, I would like to hear more about your experience or questions or comments. If you think certain like the model transition will be something relevant to you or already happened in Indonesia, or there's other influences and you see some new strategies starts in the field.
Okay, let's do the discussion, right? Oke,
Bu Risma, saya bongkaran kali.
oke, ini ada Bu Titi dulu. Bu Titi want to say something to Yiyi. Bu Titi.
Okay. Hello. Hi, Yiyi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Risna. I'm sorry I cannot attend the presentation fully, but our department would like to appreciate you for your availability, willingness, and commitment to be present for our international lecture series, because you are not only presenting in once, but 3 times. So that's a lot of resources that you have spent. And I would like to tell the participants, Professor Yiyi Chen is my dear friend, but she is my colleague too, and colleague for all of the lecturers at our department, because she visited us in 2019 for the same activities. And we are very honored again to have you. And I think in the next future, our lecturers, Ibu Risna, Pak Rudi, and the others will do the same for your study program. And we hope for more fruitful collaboration for the present time and in the future. So I would like to say thank you again from all of us. And I followed some of your presentation. It's very interesting, inspiring, and I think it's important for us too. So I shall return the time to you to continue the discussion. Thank you, Bu Risna. Thank you, Yiyi.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Mr. Budi. Pak Budi.
Oke, thank you. Dengar suara saya jelas, Bu Risma?
Jelas. Clear.
Okay, nice to hear your presentation, especially in the last your presentation about the success of a local community for engage with the program. But in Indonesia, especially when we engage in a community program, or maybe we call community development, there is some challenging for example, we talk about the neoliberalism's era, and we talk about the market behavior. What I call it when we cannot let them or the people alone competing with a big enterprise to win the market. We talk about how we can protect them, because some product may be made by people, for example, a handcraft, food product based on vegetable or fruit snacks, or example. I think they should compete with a bigger enterprise in the market. We talk about we need to protect them. Okay, we need to protect the people with a vulnerability, but they want to come up with new transformation to better income, for example. My question is, how will your government, especially in Taiwan, protect the people like that, the target community, so they can increase their capacity, so they have not to fight alone with the wild market. We can expose that in neoliberalism era there is a free market liberalism. I think this is not good for better community if there is no protections. I will ask you about your experience or your government to protect the people, vulnerable people, when they come to the engage in empowering program. That's my question, Titi.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a very good question. I think it's a common challenge across the world in community practice. When we think of such kind of distrust in the market system, we do want to do some protection. However, unfortunately, nowadays it's quite impossible to get away from the globalization and also get away from the big company, the big companies in the market. So that I think the point of community practice is to create the networking. And in my experience, I see when I see such the successful cases, it would take 6 to 10 years for a community or for a community organization to be financially independent, make enough money, make enough profit to support their staff, and to share the interest with the community members. It takes very long for them to build up their own social enterprise. So within that period, I think if possible, in Taiwan, we have some government funding as partially supported financially for those kind of organizations to decrease their cost. For example, the government funding for such community workers for their payment and income, or we can cover some of the marketing price cost through directly provide the money, or we build a platform, a big campaign for organizations together to share that kind of marketing mechanism, or to skip the hassles they have to deal with the internet and the payment system, things like that. So some infrastructure can be shared or supported by the policy, by the government, or across the organizations. That's one way to go. But I share the same sense that with you, it's quite impossible to build the absolute protection. The point is not protect. The point is empower. so that the community members can come together and feel they can do something. In the beginning, we may need some support, but in the long run, still you have to stand on your own feet. You have to carry all the cost on your own shoulder, so that they will be a success. But in nowadays, it's unlikely to have a protection in such cases. And also another approach I see is that some communities, they put priority to their own volunteer and their own products. If the community needs some resources, they don't pay the money to buy, but instead they would prefer to produce or to produce the services on their own, so that some of the profit can be kept within the community. For example, the wellness activities you see in the pictures, if you have to hire or pay the coach to teach you exercise or singing or such fun activities, that's a lot of money through a year. But if you're a volunteer, learn how to be a coach within the year, and the second year, you don't have to pay the money, and so that income will be kept within the community. That's also another way I found very useful. So that's about my answer. I think there's no perfect solution, but the point is to empower the community and try to draw in some external resources through the way. It can be very long.
Okay, thank you. Maybe there is some different circumstances between Indonesia and Taiwan. I think there is more issue that we have to handle and face, and we have to solve here in Indonesia, especially when we talk about the people empowerment, empowering, or community development, etc. Because we related to policy, related to the awareness, or maybe self-conscious. Yes, how can we make a plan and mapping? There is a hard thing that you have to break, especially when the government and the people in one and another side can create good situations to produce welfare for people. Thank you, Yi, for your response.
Woody, thank you for the feedbacks. I think next time I will try to introduce a complete case so that we can talk more about the conditions in the context, including policy and the social atmosphere and the culture too.
Yes, maybe we will a little the approach. Maybe we have to extend to the maybe a structural social work, or we can operate that in the field. I mean, this is not like we have to demonstrate or something like that, of course, because we talk about the policy, we talk about how people have awareness and government have awareness to do that. I think that's all.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, do you still have time for one question, maybe?
Yes, please.
Okay. Any other question? Tarizi, maybe, or?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Okay, morning, Prof. Yi.
Hi.
Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Tarizi Batwalim. I'm from postgraduate program of Social Welfare University of Pajajaran. Before that, this question about the critical issues of sustainable community development and inclusive community practice in context of contemporary global challenges. And the question is, what innovative strategies have proven most effective in fostering sustainable community development and promoting inclusive community practice in the face of contemporary global challenges? And how can they address issues such as, how can I say, such as environmental sustainability, economic disparities, and social inclusion on a meaningful scale? In this question, based on your experience in Taiwan, maybe. Thank you.
It's a good question about how to balance the environment justice and also some of the people's empowerment at the same time. So because the typical idea is that we have to sacrifice environment, and so that the development of economy will start. But I think nowadays many Taiwan people have dropped this idea, because when we have a relatively developed society, we found that environment is something we already sacrificed and lost. And also who are mostly influenced by such injustice, that would be those people who are in worst situation. For example, in Taiwan, many of the regional tribes, they lost their traditional land. And also in the beginning, the hope was that everyone can get good job from the economy development. But through the years, we found that it's like we lost our land, we lost our life, and also many families are moving out of the tribe and being displaced. And it's like the lesson is quite widely seen in Taiwan. So nowadays, the dominant idea is try to invite young generation to stay in the community, and using the local assets, natural or skill or culture, any kind of assets to make meaning a life from it. So the recent policy encourage such kind of innovative kind of business starts in the local area. The most common strategy is to do environment-friendly, to develop an environment-friendly sightseeing business. And in that way, the houses and the land and the beauty can be kept. And also some local economic activities, such as making like growing plants, or making handcrafts, or some traditional cultural activities will be included in such kind of bundle for visitors to feel fun and also welcome and interested in coming back again. So that's happening in Taiwan. And I think if I have time next talk, I'll try to provide an example to see how it works. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you for your explanation.
Okay, I think we only have 16 minutes before 11. So maybe it's not enough time for a long discussion, Ye.
Yeah, so if you have questions, feel free to leave in the text box. And I think Miss now will collect the questions or comments to me. And yeah, I look forward to meet you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have to end our discussion and thank you very much for Professor Yiyi. Teman-teman yang ada di ruangan ini, terima kasih sudah hadir dan we will have Yiyi on November 9 about the discussion about Social Policy and Community Development Learning from Taiwan. Jadi untuk teman-teman yang dari Public Policy, dari administrasi publik, mungkin juga dari S1, S2, S3 Kesejahteraan Sosial bisa hadir lagi di kuliah umum dari Profesor Yiyi Chen untuk Social Policy and Community Development. Jadi akan sangat menarik karena akan ada pembahasan ya mengenai kebijakan sosial. Baik, kita akhiri kelas hari ini. Untuk presentasi dari Yiyi saya akan share. Oke, thank you Yiyi. See you on November 9th.
Oke,
Pak Rudi,
udah?
masih ada?
Enggak, sudah.
Oke, ya sudah ya. Kita tutup. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, masalah.